go. Fired up, fired up. Small penis truck. Let's go. Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. It's a beautiful new day out there. It's a beautiful Sunday. Ah, that fresh morning wake up smell, that life. I'm Mark Saint. This is Saint's Addiction. These are one of my photo blankets, and I am freezing out here. That's right. I was like, I am not going to just chill out here. I'm ready to smoke, but I don't know about ready to freeze. But this morning, one of the issues or situations that had happened was this. Boom, baby, boom. I got my Boulder pen. I got my other blanket within. And I'm going to sit here and smoke this morning, Sunday, with you guys, with my photo blankets on me and around me. And we're going to talk about mental health per usual. Oh, trying to show it off and it fell out. Ooh, ooh. Whoa. Concentrate, y'all. Boulder W2 pen. And you concentrating. This is what's in. So, live from the Saints Addiction show, your boy Marquis Saint is in his warm blanket. And I'm reading this article this morning that said Xing Yu. And a Xing Yu is a woman that's over 27 years old in China that's not married. And I'm looking at this event or this situation that is. I'll smoke some flower too. And I'm like, that's us. I mean, at least they're taking a stance on it, but that's the world where we have chosen. The girls literally said that. My father was so broke that he couldn't afford my mom she couldn't afford a ring for my mom, so I bought her a gold ring. And I started to think, how many of us are supporting the relationship of our parents without finding our own relationships? And how many of these girls just say, the more that my aunts keep fucking with me about getting married, the more I buy useless things. And I've been to China. More than I've been to China, I lived in China for 5 months of my life. And to see parents in the park with pictures of their children trying to swap them like baseball cards, that's a trip to me. But it's way more proactive and shows how way important a child is. So I saw another article, and it said that China hasn't seen any new births in over 3 months now. Obviously, I believe that to be clickbait, and I don't believe that to be true. But can you imagine a world where we did stop having children, and that these other people are buying cars and clothes? He says, I keep buying more expensive clothes. The more my aunts keep talking shit, the more expensive shit I buy. And that's our conspicuous consumerism. That's what we've done. We have literally outsourced not only our factories and our thoughts, but literally we have outsourced our connections. We have said, I want to be so connected to somebody that I'm willing to, or not connected to somebody, connected to a product. Sorry, I'm a little high, but connected to a product that I'm willing to buy something instead of find someone. And that's why I say finding your match this morning's motivation. And let's get some motivation in here, shall we? I'm already fucking baked, dude. That first rip with this W2 pen is fucking insane, dude. Wow. That's my first rip of the day. Welcome to the show, but I'm still a flower child. So anyway, the point is that we've supplicated, we've supplemented, like it's almost like a meal replacement. When we get a real replacement shake or something where we need protein and we just want to add water and shake it up, right? We have supplemented consumerism because that feeling is that real, right? To meet someone that kind of has the same values, has mental health. That was the 97%. Like, you never get 90% on a survey. You never get anybody that says, yeah, I overwhelmingly feel 97% about this. But mental health was huge. Not only has it put me in a dysfunction for fucking having a relationship that just broke off, and she's not mentally healthy and I'm not mentally healthy, and that doesn't put us in a future of health. And the older we get, the more experiences that we have. And in fact, if they are negative experiences, we bring that whole caseload with us. Yeah, that's out there. But it's also matching mental health, right? So it's like, if you're healthy and the other person's not, say the other person's still getting over a divorce, or maybe doesn't know about themselves, or their mental fortitude isn't mature enough, guess what you stuck with? Finding someone else's mental stability is almost damn near impossible, and that's almost seems to be what's being asked of us. Is these situations are being crazy for all of us to think that all we had to do is just match with someone. All we have to do is just swipe enough to just see someone and be near them, or and I guess we're not even close to being near them. We're just hoping that we match with someone. And it's the equivalent of the Chinese family being out in the park, literally saying, here's my daughter, here's a picture of my daughter. Let me see your son. Let's go around and match baseball cards so that we can eventually have grandchildren, because that's our goal. So it's like, I'm done walking around day by day. My mom's not going out there at church with a picture of me in her wallet going, what's your daughter look like? You want to trade up? You know what I mean? You want to do some baseball cards? You want to do some pogs? So remember pogs when you used to do the paper and stuff? It's just crazy to me, bro. It's crazy to me that we have gone to this length of life, and we're now desperately looking at dating apps. There's the Bumbles, there's the Hinges, and I just saw Grinder, the gay one, make some of their initial investors billionaires. That's right, billion with a B. Now the Grinder scene is now worth $1 billion. Imagine that, just so we can connect people. Now, your boy Marky Saint is sitting on a golden idea. Seems like a mixture of Grinder and Bumble, but either way, I've already had a dating app idea for a long minute, and I just saw another one where I was trying to look for a domain name. What was it? Hookup. Hookup.com is another dating site. So there's probably like 30 of them out there. There's probably only 5 that we know of by name, and those are $1 billion companies. They're just pouring money in, trying to hook people up and find someone to love and find someone to match with. And I think that's the thing that's such a crutch, is that when we're looking for something to match with through digital, it's something that's hyper exceeded everything else that we've ever matched with. So case in point, I'm talking about Fresh and Fit was talking about a regular girl in Idaho or Iowa would never have the opportunity to reach a millionaire in Beirut, or some higher, or the world access. It was usually just Johnny down the street. They got married, they stayed in the same city, they had kids together. That was the pattern. And with the pattern being shook out, right? Everybody shook out. The Mandela effect. The Mandela effect shakes everything, right? You could put it on the tarp. You could spend hours, days, months and monks sitting there and putting little pieces of sand together so a picture appears. At the end, they swoosh it all together, because that's the whole idea of change, and then put it into a cup. And that glass is just full of different sprinkles, and pretty much that's your life. That every day was a sprinkle, every day was a grain of sand, and every day could be colorful, some could be planned, and when it's all added up, you're literally sprinkled together. Now, we look like a picture when we're alive, right? You can see the smoke and the striations and these things, and it's high quality, dude. My blankets are the shit, you know what I mean? Like, these are super duper high quality, super duper quality, sewed to the edges, double sewed, hand sewed, here in America. I'm doing photos on blankets. I'm making changes, doing the business, launching it. And at the same time, why did I even start talking about that? Oh, shaking out the whole thing. That's us. We're like a real colorful picture put together up against the wall. And then one day somebody comes and splatters fucking tomato sauce on the fucking sunflowers, Vincent Van Gogh style. I don't know. You think he was mad? Shit, he cut off his ear. Why don't you be so bold? Oh, all you can do is throw a can of soup and get my attention if you cut your own ear off. I mean, just saying, I thought you were hardcore. Anyway, so besides for mad men and mad women, we're madly buying our way out of situations. I remember my ex, she would buy purses, and she had a bunch of purses because every time she bought a purse, that usually meant her husband cheated on her. Can you imagine trying to make other people jealous with a purse, walking around looking great, big old set of tits, beautiful face, just fucking amazing chick, and she was buying her feelings, covering up what's inside. The next thing that could give you a buzz, before I started the show, I got another phone call. Some chick had hit me up for photos on mugs, which wouldn't be so bad, but it's Sunday and I don't have that equipment here. But my point being is that's where we are in life. You know, that's where we end up. We end up being in a place where we have became a picture, and it's not always a perfect picture. Trust and believe. Like, I don't like how it fades here at the top from the design, and I wish this was all black. And this one I wanted to shift put it in the center. And anyway, that's you're up on a wall, and one day they're going to take us down, turn us around, and no one's going to see our frame. Right now, it's beautiful. Look, they were saying for the women. Where's my spit rag? Hold up. I have a spit rag because I'm flimmy. But anyway, the point being is that that's our perfect picture. We're shit, man. Unfortunately for women, like our perfect picture is basically her perfect picture is like 19. And you're just basically finding out who you are at 19. I mean, that's not even fucking full 20 years. That's not even a full 2 decades. I've been up alive for 4 decades. And, knowing that the picture isn't going to always be straight, it's not always going to be perfect. A lot of us want to be that way. We're going to be like, yo, this is my perfect life. And I made only touchdowns and no mistakes. And look at me. Our light is only so pretty for so long. That's why we like chastity and we love virginity and brand new titties, brand new skin, brand new life. You're like, yeah, let me take these for a ride. Pretty soon, you're a used Honda. You've already had 200,000 miles on you. Them titties are now tires, and the skin just doesn't look as polished as the brand new paint job. We've all had puppies. We've all seen them grow. We've all seen old dogs too. We know that this thing is passing by. We know that time is irreplaceable. And yet there we are. We spend our time and we spend our money frivolously. We have no economics to it. We have no sense of what's the word? Sense of urgency. We have no sense of urgency of what's going on with ourselves. We're just sitting there going like TikTok, the clock don't stop. Where our parents are like, I'm getting older, bro. I'm running out of time. Let me go to the park and find you a match. I mean, fuck, dude. Or how about someone telling you that at 25 or 27 years old, 29 even, that you're used product or what did they call that when you have too much? What's on my eyelash? When you have too much uh what do they call that, leftover women, leftover women, a shing nu. And you're just like, wow, really, bro, that you just got started maybe halfway through your life, but not even before you're 30. Like, they don't even let you hit the 30 mark. I'm almost certain the number is 27, and somewhere in there they literally say, no soup for you. You don't get no you use soup. And you're just like, how am I use soup? And I'm not even a woman. That would really offend me if I was a woman, just to be blamed by my age. But what's also blamed by your biology, that this things these the halving of your sufficiency. It's almost 20 to 30, you're good to go for, or even 15 to 25. And then I think at 25 it drops to half. 30 it drops by half, and 45 it drops by half. So literally right around that 25, 30, 35, 40, that click, those 5 decades and half decades. Okay, so I'm talking about spending decades, right? Like I'm spent 4 decades, she's almost spent 2 decades. If she's almost 20, that's only 2 decades, right? And that's just the beginning of a new decade. And to think that the ageism is biology, and it's more than just hypocrisy. You don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. You can keep buying Louis Vuitton purses, Burberry sunglasses. She was naming them all, but she couldn't name her children because she doesn't have any. There's no investment there. The investment went to the luxury brand. The investment went to Supreme and buying something that was cheaply made and sold overpriced and sold to somebody willing to pay for it. There's a conviction here. It's almost like all the smarter monkeys are trying to get the money from the other monkeys, and we all in a system trying to get bananas from the source. It's gonna be tough. It hurts my feelings that I didn't have this baby, y'all. I have to be real about it in the show. It hurts my feelings so hard because I really did find love. I really did have love in my heart, and we had a lovely moment. This kid was born perfect, born in a perfect moment, and that I found that there's a spark of life. There's a spark of life when we match, like that. When two cells interact and become DNA, the only DNA in the whole entire universe, is just so rare. And for people to throw away rare and so violently, and abortion is a cop out. I totally agree with Pearly thing. She was out there with her sign. She made a foam board sign that said abortion is a cop out, and all the girls are mad about it and said, do you if we knew what abortions look like, if we knew that they ripped off the arms and the legs and the heads of these children, I didn't even know if I was going to say it. I've been sitting on that for the last 24, 48 hours of should I say that out loud because I didn't want it to be true. I don't want those words to be true. And I feel like if people don't know, then it keeps becoming true. If we knew what was entailed, they were like, you wouldn't want that to rip the legs off of a puppy. You'd be like, you're a masochist, you're a murderer, you're a killer. And there we are. We're just matters of convenience. It's like, oh, well, this kid's going to be expensive. Well, so's are cars, so's are Burberrys, so are fucking life in general. It's expensive. What's rare is matching. We look for everything that's not right. I know when I got in the car with my ex, he's like, you didn't kiss me right off the bat. That's so weird. And I'm like, well, I kissed you at the car. No, you were supposed to kiss me as soon as we got rid of this old lady because this old lady needed a ride or whatever. But from the airport, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I told that old lady to wait. I said, wait, let me go kiss my girl. I ain't seen her in a hot minute, you know? I made a romantic moment. For her, it should have been the next moment. And because I didn't get the moment right, we start demeriting each other. Like things aren't right. So, you know what? It's not perfect. It's not the color Burberry bag that I want. It's not got cheese. We become so picky. And I know I'm picky too. And what's really weird is all these matching apps don't supersede the way we still pick, the way that we still choose each other and find our matches. We're looking for butterflies, we're looking for effect, we're looking more than just conversations. It's a combination of words. I always tell people like that, like, you want to lay a woman, there's a whole combination of words and a combination of feelings, and that whole little code combination has to be right for that to even exist. And that's why a lot of people aren't getting laid. If you want a need, you'll almost be like, yo, I just need this to happen. And then we developed friends with benefits. So we've slimmed down and watered down um, the concentrate version of who we are at matching. The concentrated version of us matching, it's so thick. It's viscous. It's fucking like honey thick, like cold honey thick. It's just one of those things that I think biology and evolution trump any dating app or park pictures you can shake a stick at. You're gonna know if you're attracted to someone. It's such a pull. I go to conventions all the fucking time, and they put girls out there, and you could be looking down an aisle, and there could be 50 to 100 people down this little corridor alleyway or just a row, And only because there's a girl in the mix does my eye, because of genetics and hunting and evolution, stop even a little bit longer. That's 20-minute mark right there. Boom. That's some boom baby boom right there. Yeah. And I know it too. I mean, I started reliable models because I knew I needed a model, not just follow the model, like follow the business model of, oh, well, they got a hot chick, might as well bring a pretty face here. No, it's literally brings the boys to the yard. And then to keep your boy in your yard, women, your game. Sure, it's a lot of easy. I mean, you feel like a lot of dogs have come to your fence and you got attention and they're all excited and they're all doing their best to do a flip till it's time to feed them. And then you realize you can only feed one of them at a time. And you're just like, fuck, dude, all these other dogs are gonna bark and bitch. And if I feed this one dog in front of them, then they'll fucking freak out. You know it like I know it, you know? I mean, and I'm not saying all women are spinning plates or anything, but I'm saying when you're choosing how you get fed, when you're choosing the amount of attention that you need, how many cows are at your trough? Cool. How many cows do you sleep at night with? And why is that not enough? That kind of part. You know what I mean? Like, who do you bring home? Are you only sleeping with your dogs? They are literally invested in dog food, cat toys, dog toys, coffee, and what was the other thing for chicks that they were expecting? Wine. Yeah, they market wine to women. It's alcohol, dude. It's alcohol sales, and they much rather you be buzzed up, and you much rather be buzzed up because you buy the product and you get the effect. And I like me, when I smoke my weed, I love the effect, right? This is a morning motivation. I've been doing this for the morning marijuana motivation for forever. Now it feels like, but I've been smoking for mornings for forever. I just joined you guys in. I was just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this show. I'm going to talk about real issues and, and I'm going to, do it live while I smoke my blunt in the morning, right? I'm like, if I'm going to smoke, I'm going to talk, might as well. So instead of keeping all the ideas in my head and reading the news and another ridiculous mass shooting in Colorado, 5 people dead, 18 injured, the world news, watching this new prime minister show up to the Ukraine and show support. That's fucking pretty dope. Dude's on the ball. So it's tough, these live things to see an Indian shaking hands with a Ukrainian. We're in a worldwide world, dude. That's a dot not feather Indian from not India, from England. Sounds like England, dude. Raised as an England dude, billionaire. So he's one of the richest men on the planet, just ascended to one of the highest thrones. Like the queen died, and now there's this Indian dude in it, and there's no racism in it for me because I don't give a shit. I'm telling you the development. I'm trying to show you that you got women in charge before him. Talked with it on my friends in England. I talk about world news. I talk about current events. I try to stay away from memes, and mental health. And that's where it all came in together. It was just like, wow, it's not just dating their looks anymore. We say we're gonna match, right? Can your mental health handle someone else's mental health? I obviously realized when I've done more of my research, especially dating single women, that it's not only baggage, but there's luggage. And she didn't want to call her kids baggage, and I get that. And I'm sure she thinks her children are a blessing, and I'm sure that they are. But there's also luggage with it too. The last relationship that they were in, the disaster of it, the shards. I didn't want to swim in those waters. It's almost like being in a flood. Oh, fucking gnat. Being in a flood, there's so much other, what do you call that stuff? Shrapnel and pieces that are in there that'll cut you. And when they find bodies after floods, I don't know if you guys know this, if we're talking about really sad shit, right? Bad shit, they're always mangled. They're always hard to piece together who the person is. We all think people just die in coffins and they're just perfectly put together. And sure, it's sad, but there's a lot of things that are dying really sad. I was watching the movie Vantage Point last night, and it's like, yeah, if there really is an explosion, it really is sad. There is some sad shit that happens where indiscriminate dying indiscriminate maiming of ourselves. It's just like, oh no, we're lucky to even be alive. We're lucky to even be not hurt and to be healthy and to be mentally healthy and ready to approach someone and that they like us at the same time and that we're both attracted. These things are fucking miracles. And we're just like buying our way past miracles. Our miracle is to get the Burberry glasses, and the whole thing is like we're missing connection like a motherfucker. Something that we're not doing. And if it was true, just follow along with me. If you read in the news one day that China, flex on these hoes, China, I am just trying to fathom it that if we literally woke up to the news that China didn't have children for 3 months straight, that would scare the world. And my ex is right. We'd be nothing without women, and the women would be nothing without men. And we're nothing without each other. I thought about it while I sat on my balls, full of precious little jewels of children, and how much sperm and how that my balls are separated from my body to give myself, all of us men, not chrono, cryogenic area to keep semen alive, right? To keep it nice and cold. It's separated from our bodies, so it's not 98.5 degrees. It's cold down there, right? It's cold balls, blue balls, similar, but kind of this. Imagine that, and that we've separated the life from us. That like literally, it has to come out of us, and an injection thing just to inject it out there, and that one day that you would find a match and that you injected inside of her, and then life sparked, and it grew, and it replicated both her and you, and that's just amazing to me. And it was one of my morning thoughts in my meditation because I don't grab my phone first thing in the morning. I hope I don't. Sometimes I do. You know what it is. And I like to sit there quietly when I wake up early. It's usually like 7:30 on the dot for some weird reason. But anyway, waking up early. Maybe it's when the sun rises. And when I'm waking up early, the circadian rhythm breaks up, and I have these thoughts. And this morning's thought is, what if I didn't lose my child? What if this child had developed? And I fast forwarded my story, and I never got a chance to look at it that way. And the amount of awesomeness it is for life to keep happening. And we just hit like 8 billion people, and nobody kind of really, what? Because we were thinking that number was just going to go 8, 9, 10. And 10 was the maximum. Everyone was going to die. And then all of a sudden, we topped out at the magic number of 8, and India starts slowing down. They're not having as many babies. They were leading the way. And now they say that it's Africa because they just had such a bigger population and they're just still developing. That's where most of the growth is going to come from in the 21st century. And the rest of us, we just kept holding our peckers. We kept pulling our own peckers. And we sat on jewels. We sat on time. We had nowhere else to go, and it didn't initiate us to go anywhere. I thought the other day if somebody was like, why don't you just go outside? I'm like, bitch, it's cold. You're crazy. And then I was like, what about if you had to survive? What if you had to go chop your own wood? What if you had to go find the meat? What if you couldn't just Uber eat? And it was just that kind of, oh shit, we get to sit very comfortably in air conditioning or heating, and then sitting instead of walking, and that walking would be the interaction that you seek. And hopefully you keep walking enough so you get plenty of interaction, so that you get plenty of serendipitous bump ins. That's what they used to call it. Rest in peace, Tony Shea. And getting people to see things that way, see their ability to match with people is predicated on more interactions and more mental health and being present when that opportunity arises. So yeah, that was this morning's motivation. It was such a trip. Xing Yu, you can look it up. Leftover Women, and the fact that we're doing photos on blankets too. Those are blowing up. But the fact that mental health was the 97% ultimate thing is like, you're like, please be sexy, please be sexy. They sit down. You're like, okay, cool, please. be my type. Okay, they're my type. We're vibing. Yeah, it's a vibe. This is a vibe. We're a vibe. And then it goes, please have mental health. Annyeonghaseyo. So, it's it's a trip. It's a trip. And we need to match before we trip. So peace and love. And as always, chi gatan. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. There's another side to this. When I get off this thing, there's the other side. It's your life. And sometimes I like to sit quietly if you guys get a chance, off the phone. I really realized, and I know it's a realization, these things are an addiction, and there's so much information and addiction to information and addiction to our phones, and that's why I call it Saints Addiction. But it's also an addiction to wasting time. So when I did have some downtime, I didn't have like my phone on me when I was eating. And when I got to eat, I think it was yesterday, and I was sitting there and I was just like, wow, I had some really cool thoughts that I wouldn't have got to have if I had kept on the phone. So the phone's almost like predicting my thoughts, and I needed a thought that was unpredictable. I needed a aha moment without the phone. So I'm just putting that out there, and it's almost like the matching thing. You're gonna have to have. I'm like, you play on your fucking phone all day long. Why are you at a public event on your phone? Leave it alone. Ciao, Bella, Bejos, and I'll see you on the other side. Chigathon.